It's time now for Rounding the Bases with Dino and Barks, powered by Gino's Napa Auto Pro on 1460 CJOY.
Well, off the top, we start talking about magic numbers, and you had a magic number against the Brantford Red Sox by getting your 28th win of the season, and that's a team record.
That is a franchise record and great history of baseball here in Guelph, so we're very proud of it. Again, but after the game, we celebrated for a little bit and got a game ball for our owner, who deserves it, Sean Fuller, and we know that we have a big game ahead and a big weekend ahead rather, and an opportunity to win the pennant.
Dalton sure came through last night.
Dalton's come through for the last few weeks. He's been zoned in. He refocused a little bit halfway through. He had to take care of some stuff personally, and he's preparing himself to be a police officer. So he had a lot of commitments that way. And once he's come back, he's been on fire. So he's third in the league in hitting now at 373, and he's got 3 home runs in the last 2 games. So it's fun to watch.
This upcoming weekend definitely will set the playoff picture. Who are going to, who's one playing 5 and whatever, and you have to take every game one at a time. You can't look through to Sunday. But you do have home field advantage for the first round, don't you? For
the first round, we have home field advantage. We've won 14 straight at home, and we're 18 wins, 2 losses at home, which is incredible. Our fans were so good last week. They were starting to get a little more vocal. That's the one thing. We've been drawing really well, but we want to get our fans into it a little bit, and the product's been really good. And I thought that was the loudest we've heard it in years there, and it was so much fun to be around, and people enjoyed themselves. So if you do come to the ballpark tonight, just make sure that you're ready to go with your vocal cords, and we love hearing it.
I was crunching the numbers. Are you going to play Kitchener first round?
It all depends on what happens this weekend. So it could be Kitchener, Hamilton, or Brantford. It all depends on the game against London, and then if there's a 3-way tie, we stand in pretty good shape. So we may actually host a playoff game for the pennant, which would be a 1-game playoff. We had one in '94 and it was very exciting, and we won that one. So we have an opportunity to do it this year. I think it comes down to a coin flip if it is us in London, and because we've won the season series with Welland. So we're really excited, but nonetheless, whatever happens, our goal is a championship at the end of this playoff run, and it's either going to be Kitchener, Hamilton, or Brantford. We'll find out this Sunday.
And of course, it's always great to have home field advantage in the playoffs, especially the first round, because you get through that into the second.
Especially 3 out of 5. You want that advantage early because it's such a short series, and you don't want to slip up early. And we know we're guaranteed 2 home games out of the 3 out of the first 3. So with Claudio pitching and the way Jeffrey and Brandon Deans are pitching, I think our pitching's shaping up. And when we get to Andrew Case at the end of the game, it's been money.
Can I say this? Like everything's gelling together at the right time for the Royals?
Yeah, this is what we were thinking. It was amazing before the season started. I know I said to Sean Fuller, a lot of these guys haven't played in a couple of years, so it's going to take us a little while to get our feet under us. And I said to him, if we were going to be 8-8 to start the season, would you be happy with that if I told you we win 28 games and finish 28-14? Well, now we have a chance at over 30 wins. We're the hottest team in the league. We're 22 wins and 3 losses in our last 25 games. And we did start 8-8, so we've got the 28 win mark. So it's going to be hopefully a little better than what I predicted. But we are gelling at the right time, and all these guys are pros.
How's sick bay? Is everybody back?
Everybody's back. We're gonna be in good shape this weekend. We were really short in Brantford. We had 2 out of our 9 starters, and still put up 19 hits. So it just goes to tell you how deep our team is and how excited we are as a whole. Everybody's contributing. And again, just keep the manager out of the way so he doesn't screw things up.
Well, everybody says that Labatt Park in London is tough to play in, tough to win in, but you have one down there.
Yeah, we have, and it is tough. The fans are great. They draw really well, and they're right on top of you, and they're very vocal. They get in your face, leaning over the dugout and yelling at you. But it is, it's a beautiful place to play. It's a great field, great history, one of the oldest ballparks in North America. And, we're looking forward to the challenge, and hopefully that'll be the final as well.
Be interesting to see because, you do play them tough every time.
We do, and Welland as well. We're 4-2 against Welland, so there's the three of us battling for first place, and we've lost an extra innings to London. We lost by 2 runs, and then one game that their pitcher dominated us. But all in all, we've been really playing well against them.
Well, have a great weekend. Lots of wins, and we'll get ready for the playoffs with me behind the mic.
Yeah, I look forward to it, Bruce, and we're looking forward to hearing everybody at the ballpark.
Well, good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to Hastings Stadium for the 21st and final time of this regular season as we close out the long-gone summer for the Royals, who have done just that here on home field. Neil, 18-2 so far at home, and with Brantford in town, with just 2 wins total on the season, the Red Sox have. Guelph looking to make it 19-2, and this game has so very much on the line in terms of playoff implications and how that top of the table ends up finishing off. 3 teams in a logjam: London, Guelph, Welland, and I will kind of hand it off to you with the math because we all know how I do with that.
Yeah, so if all 3 teams are potentially finishing at 33-11, which made a 3-way tie for first place, the league tiebreaker rules will go into effect. They'll compare the head-to-head records between all 3 teams, and unfortunately, that would eliminate the Welland Jackfish on their record alone, as they split their season series with the London Majors and lost to the Guelph Royals 4-2 in the Inter series, whereas London and Guelph split their series, and of course the Royals would advance over top of the Welland Jackfish, winning 4-2 on that series. So then you look at that thing, so that eliminates the Welland Jackfish from first place. The second thing that's going to happen is now, they got to define who's hosting home field for that 1-game playoff to claim first place. And, of course, in the season series, London outscored the Guelph Royals 26-23, so they get home field advantage for that 1-game playoff. The Royals will have to go to Labatt Park once again and get the W if they want first place in the IBL.
But a lot of baseball kind of left to be played between now and tomorrow evening. Guelph has Brantford tonight and then in Kitchener tomorrow, so 2 games that they expect themselves to win, but they still need to show up and get the job done. London has to go to Christie Pitts tomorrow to play Toronto, which, as you said right before we went on the air, never an easy part to go steal a road win at Christie Pitts. So a lot of things could really kind of make the math a lot more simple if an upset or a kind of rest of players maybe in play, and
exactly. And especially it's a weekend, and it's sometimes it's hard to get the full lineup on a Sunday afternoon out there. So it's it's very hard and very possible that something something could go awry somewhere between these three teams here, and then, they're going to have to recalculate things, but that's what looks like. If everything goes the way it's supposed to go, and teams that are supposed to win tomorrow, that's we're looking at a three-way tie. And it's the first time in quite some time that's happened. I believe the early 90s, 1994, 1995, was the last time the league had a three-way tie for first place. I believe the Guelph Royals had to take on the Stratford Hillers that year, and Dino Ramel was at the helm back then.
He's been around forever and a day, has Dino, and he was talking about the success of Claudio Custodio, obviously, when he broke that strikeout record, and how this team is just kind of finding their groove at the exact right time. And Claudio went 9 innings strong last night in that huge win over London at Labatt Park. How much does it do for this team's confidence coming into the final 2 games of the regular season? It's a 3-3, but with Brantford coming into town, maybe a team you might look past, but now everything is on the line. Claudio threw all 9 innings last night. Emily Guerrero gets the nod on the bump for the Royals tonight. And leading off for the Red Sox will be Brady Palmero.
Palmero will bat here. So he takes that one and he fouls that first pitch underway here. Out of play.
And another thing to note, Neil, is that Sean Riley, we've always kind of hummed and hawed, is it his swan song? This could potentially be his final regular season home game at Hastings Stadium if he does, in fact, decide to call it a career after this season comes to an end.
Well, I've written stories about Cleveland Brownlee in the past, written stories about Sean Riley in the past, both saying this, this is probably it for them, and then lo and behold, they magically appear back the next year. So I stopped writing things. I just said, you know what, I'll believe it when I see it, and when it actually is official, I'll write the swan song story.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And that's exactly it. And we did read that long write-up and where you broke down the playoff format kind of tiebreaker and all those numbers that you went to, all that effort to figure out. And again, it could change in a hurry here as we have one down, Palmero down for the first out of the inning. And Jesse Fishbaum is now due up, batting second in the lineup. And John DeZamo will follow. He's on deck.
Fishbaum batting .245 on the season. Usually bats leadoff tonight. I guess Brady Palmero got the honors here.
That one doesn't get the call and just misses off the plate for a ball. So it's 1-0 on Fishbaum from Guerrero. That one pretty much a carbon copy, and it's 2-0.
Guerrero just hasn't pitched as often as he had in the earlier part of the season here, so he's just probably getting some of the rust off, getting back into playoff form.
And alluding back to that article that you wrote about the playoff breakdown and everything else and all those numbers that you went to that effort to break down, Dalton Pompey hitting well over 300 and I believe third
in the league, yep,
in the entire league in terms of average. But then you look at guys like Connor Morrow and Ethan Hammond, who are also well above 300 as well. So this Royals team has a ton of depth in that lineup. And Garton playing second base tonight, on to Interessano, 2 down.
Great job with Garton to stay down low on that baseball and just wait for that bounce. The Royals have got 2 away here in the first.
The shortstop, number 26, John DeZamba.
John DeZamba now will be the Red Sox last hope here in the top of the first. And it is that A-plus lineup on the card for the Royals. We will touch on that after DeZamba's AB here. That one dances in and then out of the zone for a ball. And Guerrero, this is his first start on home field in quite some time. We've seen him come in relief, but with Brendan Deans coming in as the setup man and Andrew Case doing what Andrew Case has done so many times this season, Emily Guerrero is kind of that lost soul that is just kind of getting a show-me start this evening. And what better time than the regular season finale for the home field? And that one by DeZamba was grounded through the middle of the infield, and he is aboard with a 2-out single, and Nick Burdett will look to add on top of what DeZamba just did.
Well, Emily is definitely going to make a start in the playoffs in the near future. Against who, we're not sure yet because, like you said, everything is still up in the air here. We don't know who we're playing yet. The only positions that actually have been solidified is Toronto's going to finish 4th, Barry's going to finish 5th, Kitchener is 6th. Hamilton is 7th, and of course Brantford is 8th. The top 3 could very much change in the next 24 hours depending on what happens or what doesn't happen.
Exactly, and there is just my mind is in a pretzel when I try to think about those things, and it is just too many scenarios to unfold that don't go anywhere, folks, because Guelph could end up first or they could end up third, depending on what happens here tonight and tomorrow afternoon at Jack Couch. Burdett did foul that one off his foot, but no worse for wear, and slices that one foul just a little late and underneath it. It's 0-2 with 2 gone here, and Dzamba at first base, and Terracino covering him.
That was kind of interesting. We were down in Brantford a Wednesday night, and we're leaving in the 6th inning, and so was Nick Burdett. I'm just scratching my head going, why is he leaving? And I realized, okay, he's probably working shift work or anything, but it's like, it was just so weird seeing him walking out halfway through the game.
It's a Scott Fraser call right there. As Burdett looks at one that doesn't catch the outside part of the plate. So it's 1-2, still alive here. Dzamba with a moderate lead over at first. That one still off the plate. Evens the count at deuces.
And, of course, the Red Sox fans are all razzing me. Would you guys go for ice cream at that time of night? Because just like, we're leaving in the 6th inning. But, no, we actually had the ice cream before we got to the park. It's going to be a late night anyways. We got home after 11, so it's just like, I'm old. I got to go to bed.
And Burdett did go around on that one, so that is out number 3. Emily Guerrero allows 1 hit, but no runs scored. We're halfway through 1 inning here for the regular season finale between the Guelph Royals and the Brantford Red Sox. Back to Hastings Stadium for the bottom half of the first inning. Dalton Pompey will get it going.
Dalton Pompey.
And Neil, is there a hotter hitter in the Intercounty Baseball League than number 32 for the Royals right now?
This is the absolute best time of the year to see Dalton Pompey finding his stroke, finding his groove, and telling the rest of the Royals on his back, hey, guys, I got this. We're going to lead this one off and lead the charge here as we go through the playoffs.
Tied that game on Saturday night in the bottom of the 8th inning against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then 2 home runs in the win against Hamilton, I believe.
Brantford,
excuse me. Yeah. So
two absolute no-doubters. I've never seen a ball hit so hard to right field in my life at that park. That cleared the tree in right field.
And the home run he hit here back on Saturday night in the 8th inning was a no-doubter, too. We watched it back a few times, and it was off the crack of the bat. No one doubted it.
Nope.
And if you watched a la Joey Bats, that bat flip from Pompey, he learned from the best, and he knew it was gone the minute it left the bat and was well over the left field wall. As Pompey is now ahead 2-1, and we did mention this. He's been patient all season long at the dish, but hasn't really got the favorable strike and ball calls. As of late, it seems as if he's starting to get that respect from the home plate umpires to tighten up that strike zone for Pompey. And as I say that, that one is a called strike number 2 as it came right back in. And I don't know if Pompey was trying to sell something, but
Also, because the umpire was also probably looking in the zone and saw Pompey move there and was like, oh, maybe he swung and just called it there, but then realized after he called it, it was like, oh, that wasn't the bat.
that was just his body. So it is 2-2 now. Morrow due up next. Sean Riley will bat after Josh Garton. So the lineup has changed a little bit for Dino Ramel. Pompey, Morrow, Garton, Collymore, Riley. So a very different order in terms of where Garton and Riley stand in terms of the at-bats. And speaking of hot hitting, Dalton Pompey just shy of that 325 sign. But my, oh my, that sounded good off the bat.
He's definitely making solid contact right now, and you just hope he stays in that rhythm, stays in that groove all the way through the next few weeks here, and who knows?
The shortstop, number 2.
And I think that's kind of what we're seeing now from Pompey is what we expected from day one. And it's an adjustment for a guy to come to the IBL and settle in and get to know these pitchers and really kind of find his way home, if you will. And Pompey has definitely settled in by now in game 41 of this regular season. And Connor Morrow, another guy who took a little bit to get some luck from the baseball gods. He was kind of snake-bitten at the plate to start this season, but again, well over 300, the number 2 hitter, who's also been slotted in as the 9th hitter in this lineup. And for you traditionalists out there, hitting 9th these days is no insult.
No, it's usually, they're calling it, I guess, the second leadoff man or the reverse leadoff man now. I guess that's the term Patrick Melbourne used a couple weeks ago here when he was down here doing the game with you.
I think Melbourne trademarked that one, and yes, he did refer to that, and it makes sense because when you have a guy like Morrow batting 9th and then Pompey due up next, 2 guys who can really move, it, as the innings wear on, makes a ton of sense. And here comes Guelph's Hulk Hogan.
Josh Garton.
Josh Garton batting 3rd tonight, and after a cold night at the plate a few games ago here at Hastings Stadium, wasted no time putting his team on the board. First pitch swinging last Saturday night and pumped one over the center field wall. We'll see what he can do right here. That one sawed off. And I will steal your phrase of term, Neil. That bat died not a hero. Unfortunately for Garton, he had a bead on it, but it just died out as the bat broke in multiple pieces. So we are through 1 inning, no score from Hastings Stadium.
Second baseman number 2, Jamil Orozco.
Jamil Orozco will get the top of the second inning started here for the Red Sox. He'll be followed by Evan Ryan and Roger Keane. All three of those Sox due up here in the second inning as Orozco waves goodbye to strike number 1 from Guerrero, and that is always a good sign.
We check the out-of-town scoreboard quickly once again. The Welland Jackfish up 9-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning over the Bay Ray Baycats. So Welland's doing their part to force the 3-way tie here.
And it really, in terms of Welland and Guelph, the onus lies on the Royals, and they can control their own fate as Collymore tries to make a fantastic leaping catch, but just over the fingertips of the third baseman's glove, and Orozco is aboard with a leadoff single for the Red Sox. So we'll see if Guelph can execute when it matters most. They've done very, very well against very good baseball teams, but kind of fallen asleep at the wheel against the lower-seeded teams. And yes, they're 5-0 against Brantford so far this season, but when Welland comes to town and they go to Welland, they have been at their very best, which is a encouraging sign for a baseball team heading into the postseason. But you need to win these games against the 8th-seeded Red Sox, and Emil Guerrero is ahead 0-1 real quick on Evan Ryan, the designated hitter, as he swung and missed at the first pitch he saw this evening. That one dances back in over the plate. Ryan just checking to make sure that it did come back in and was.
Of course, Ryan 14 for 56 on the season, a .250 batting average, 1 home run, 10 RBIs so far.
0-2 coming from Guerrero, swung on and missed. Evan Ryan down on 3 pitches, and Emily Guerrero, after allowing Orozco to jump aboard to lead off this inning, is now 1 ground ball away from getting out of it quite quickly.
Left fielder number 14, Roger Keane.
Roger Keane, the batter, batting 173 on the season. Like a lot of the Red Sox, just struggling, to find their groove this year. But no, they're gamers out here anyways. He's got 15 walks. He's struck out 48 times so far this season, so that's a little high, but, it happens, especially against some of the better pitchers in the league.
And when there's not players or teammates ahead of you that are aboard, it makes the opposing pitcher's job that much easier when you don't have to keep one eye on the base runner. As
No question.
Guerrero now evens the count at 1-1, and Orozco is aboard at first, with Intercounty stuck to him like glue. That one looked at for strike number 2 by Keane, and now Guerrero looking for either strike 3 or a ground ball probably right into the breadbasket of Connor Morrow at short. Checks over for Orozco at first, and Terracino didn't even attempt to make the play, but keeping Orozco honest over there at the first base bag. And Terracino was, oddly enough, as Keane swings and misses at strike number 3. So Guerrero with 2 strikeouts so far here in the top of the second inning. Oddly enough, Justin Terracino, after Dalton Pompey hit that home run to tie the game in the bottom of the 8th inning last Saturday, Juicy went out and had his way with home plate umpire David Phillips, and I don't know why or what
he said, yeah, he got the heave-ho, and I wasn't sure why.
Why are you yelling at the umpire after a home run? I asked him that after. He said, well, because.
Just because. Just because I can, I guess. That's not the answer you're looking for usually.
No, absolutely not. But again, Justin's a guy who's not. He wears his heart on his sleeve, but he's usually the guy who is diplomatic and level-headed. But when you see a guy like Terracino kind of get that fiery, it kind of wakes the rest of your dugout up. And we saw that in spades back on Saturday after Pompey tied the game, and Terracino was asked to leave early. And then Guelph went on to win that game, and the implications of that win could be boundless depending on what happens here over the next 24 hours or so. 0-2, 2 gone, top of 2. Guerrero deals. Misses, it's 1-2.
That'd be one of those calls he might get later in this game as the strike zones tend to expand a little bit. But, it's not a bad spot to put that one on the umpire, too. It's like, hey, I'm going to throw one out here once in a while. Be prepared to call it.
Yeah, see if Young would chase it, and he did not. That one back up the middle of the Garten. Should be an easy play over to Morrow at second for the force out, 3 down. We are scoreless halfway through 2 innings from Hastings Stadium. Lee Collymore will get it started in the bottom half of the second.
In the bottom of the second, the third baseman, number 35, Malik Collymore.
Mike Collymore will lead it off for the Royals. They're scoreless with the Red Sox halfway through 2 innings. Collymore will be followed by Sean Riley and Justin Interessano. All 3 of those Royals due up here in the bottom of 2. But as Neil just mentioned, our Hastings Stadium crowd that has seemingly got larger and larger and larger in a game that means just a little bit to the Royals if they win, but against the Red Sox, who are a lowly 2-39, the outfield crowd is 7 rows deep down that first base line, and we'll try to get you a good look at it as Collymore hits the ball that way. It is out of play and foul, and it's 0-2. But yeah, Neil, as we've had crowds that are pushing 2,000 and or more so far in the dog days of the summer, but right now it seems as if this might be the hottest ticket in town.
No question. Even the Jays played an afternoon game, so and there's no more basketball in town here. So it's hey, it's the Royals or bust here, and everybody's here.
And with the way that the Royals have won here at Hastings Stadium, why would you not want to come? And that was something I've been discussing with family and friends and foes. Many of those.
A lot of foes, eh?
A lot of foes. Throughout the summer, it's been an absolute pleasure to ride shotgun with you and cover this baseball team, but I think it makes it that much easier when they're 18-2 at home.
It does, and it's just like I don't remember any time in the years I've been involved with this organization over the years, and it's just I don't think we've ever been like this. And as Riley comes to bat here.
Number 33, Sean Riley.
Like I know we've had teams that have done really well at home, but this just seems like it stands out. Like this is uncharted territory. And a chance to go 19-2 at home. That's just unheard of.
In the fashion they've won some ball games, they've taken some time when you beat up on teams at home, and you and I can attest to that for the 4-hour games that we've had to have the pleasure of covering and calling. And Riley waves at that first pitch that he sees this evening from Sean Hood Tidman, and it's 0-1. And even before Sean Riley's name was announced as he walked to the batter's box, these fans were on their feet and putting their hands together. They know that this may be the very last regular season game that number 33 plays here at Hastings Stadium. And, of course, many more to come in the postseason, and hopefully will be concluded with a championship. And my, oh my, what a special moment that would be if we get down.
It's been a long time between rings for Sean Riley. 2004 was the last time he hoisted the trophy here on this very ballpark, actually.
And Riley wears one on the tricep of his left arm, and frustratingly so, throws the bat towards the dugout and takes off. And it's always comical to see where Sean Riley, when he gets his walk, how far inside the base path he will take for his free pass. And that one was anything but free. It looked like it hurt, and he's a big man and a tough soldier, but that one bounced very quickly off of that left arm, so you know it came in hot and heavy and probably will leave a mark. But Intercounty will look to capitalize on the fact that Riley is at first now, and he fouls one off straight behind home plate. It's 0-1. And
I think there was one year the Toronto Maple Leafs went undefeated at home, actually, if I'm thinking about it correctly. There may be one or two if Alan Ross is listening to in the chat. I'm sure, Al, you'll jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the one year they went unbeaten at home. I think that was when the Butler brothers were there and Spaljerek was there, and it was just those teams were just such powerhouses.
And it's funny to see the contrast between the Royals at home and the Royals on the road. So these next two games against Brantford and Kitchener mean so very much, because if they can find a way to finish atop the standings, they have home field advantage all the way through to the championship. And Terracino slices that one foul a bit late on that. It goes down the left field line and out of play. It's 1-2.
And you think about the two teams that beat him here. London beat us here in extra innings, 7-6 on a Saturday afternoon. Well, and Jackfish, they pinned one on us the one night here pretty heavily, that one Tuesday night, but
stomped.
Yeah.
It was a wake-up call for this Guelph Royals team, and I think that it kind of almost did them a favor, saying, you know what, are we as much of a cut above as we think we are? And since that time, they have been exactly.
And they haven't lost at home since.
And it's just kind of that hard spanking you need to take every now and again to remind yourself. I like to call it a good cry for myself.
Yep.
After a good cry, I always feel better. So sometimes a tough beating on your own diamond can kind of open your eyes and remind you exactly of what you need to focus on. And Terracino pulls one to right field rather, and that is going to be out of play. He knew it right away. He was well ahead of it, but.
And a whole throng of kids go after that baseball. It looked like a plague of locusts out there.
Fireflies out in right field following the light. And again, just for Juicy, he made great contact on that, but was just a bit off timing. And that has just been the same song and dance for the Royals first baseman all summer long.
Be nice to see him get back in the swing of things here and see lines went into center field. The center fielder is going back still. He's going to go run out of room. That's going to go off the fence here. And Terracino is going to sign himself up with a double here as long as he slides in safely, and he will.
I think his controller turned off halfway through that double.
He's like, no, my batteries are dead.
That looked like an easy stand-up double, and I think Juice ran out of juice.
I think he thought it was a ground rule double or it went over the fence here, but you got to run those out, Juice.
Slow motion or not, either way, he's in there safely. And I was going to make a comment. Get back in the swing of things. Pardon the pun, and right on cue,
Yeah.
Justin Terracino puts himself in a scoring position, and now Sean Riley 90 feet away from home. And with one gone, J.D. Williams to the plate, and this guy has been automatic of late. Chops one foul, and Dino Ramel makes the barehanded hot potato catch.
I got to talk about this. We walked into Brantford on Wednesday night, and we saw Dino in the dressing room getting the lineup. So we asked him if he's sleeping. He's like, "No, man, I didn't sleep at all." I'm up. He's outside at 3 o'clock in the morning praying for rain in his underwear. I'm just like, what?
Is that a metaphor or is that a literal?
No, he was serious. I couldn't get it out of my head after. I was just picturing Dino standing out in his backyard, looking at the sky, praying for rain.
Think he's a boxer brief guy?
I don't want to know. I don't want to go there. It was just one of those things. Just one of those images kind of stick with you after that. It's just like, okay.
I can see it now, and I can't unsee it now either. Thank you, Neil.
Exactly.
That one low outside in the dirt. It's 2-1 as we get back to baseball.
And it's just, I get it. Even the managers are nervous right now this time of year. It's just like you don't want to screw something up. You don't want to put the wrong lineup out there. You don't want to do anything wrong.
And you don't want to mess with any of your players' heads either by taking guys
exactly.
out or moving it up. And don't overcorrect, I guess is what you're trying to say. And J.D. Williams finds a hole between first and second. That will score Sean Riley. And Riley quickly turns around and tells Terrasano, just stay there at third. So Terrasano 90 feet from home to make it 2-0, but Sean Riley crosses the plate and opens the scoring for the Royals. It's 1-0, and Brendan Keys will look to pile on top of that. Runners on the corners, 1 away, bottom 2. And Sean Hood-Tidman, in a decent amount of innings pitched, has some strikeouts, but has had some blips in the radar as well. So a guy that can be gotten to, and Keys, first pitch swinging. That one falls in there, cannot be caught. That'll get past everybody, and Terrasano in to score. Williams on his horse. Cutoff man won't even make the relay. It's 3-0. And here the Hastings hands come together.
That'll be a collective sigh of relief as the Royals fans get some runs on the board here, and probably the bench is breathing a little easier now. They got a little bit of a lead to work with now.
And Brendan Keys, another pleasant surprise. A guy who can just slap the baseball and find those gaps that sometimes the long ball isn't what you need. You need those run-producing, middle of the outfield kind of hits, and Keys has just exemplified that once again and give him an two RBI triple, or perhaps a double and then advance to third, or how is our score?
It's a triple.
It's a 2 RBI triple for Keys.
You can't fault their outfielder on trying to dive to get that one, and just as Hammond laces this one in the left, and it's now 4-0 for the Royals here.
And just like Keys, Hammond is that guy. The guy that will just find a way to poke the ball to an open spot and cash in runs. And with Hammond batting ninth tonight, that means Dalton Pompey is back to the plate with 1 gone. He has 3 home runs in his last 3 games. And really laced one his first time out, but flew out to right.
In most ballparks in the IBL, he's got another home run here. So it's just, unfortunately, it's 325 down the line here in Hastings.
That one outside, and perhaps maybe not one that would have been called Dalton's way 10, 15, 20 games ago this season is in fact called the ball. So Pompey ahead 1-0, and a quick timeout as he steps back and resets. And this is where Hood-Tidman will really prove what he's made of here, with a bit of a frustrating bottom of the second. 4 runs already in and 1 gone. And Hammond was looking to take off, and now he'll get a free pass himself.
The ball skips out of play here and goes off a fan. Just 1 base. It's thrown by the pitcher. If it was thrown by an infielder and goes out of play, that would win 2 bases.
And shame on me. Game 41. I just learned something new this season, Neil.
It happens.
Every day. So it's 1-0. Hammond in scoring position now at second, and a generous lead. About a third of the way to third base, and we'll see what happens. And Pompey lays off a ball that was well off the plate, but called a strike.
You got to remember, Scotty, your voice carries. I'm pretty sure the plate umpire heard that loud and clear.
Mission accomplished. It's 1-1.
The crowd got eerily quiet there, too, so it's just like they kind of left the opening for you.
What's funny is that my mom would always tell me when I was a kid that I'm sitting right next to you.
He stole the base.
And Hammond
Late
is
steal for Hammond.
heads up base running from Ethan Hammond, and now he is 90 feet from home. Pompey behind 1-2. And again, Hood Tidman with a small sample size to choose from here this season, but these are the things that can cause nightmares for the Red Sox starting man this evening, with Hammond taking an easy stolen base to third there, and now it's 2-2.
And occasionally from time to time this summer, I would scoreboard watch the Brantford Red Sox and just try to figure out what was going wrong with them. And it's just like, sometimes it would boil down to just that one bad inning. They just couldn't get it out of it.
And when you give up a 4 spot in the bottom of the second, that is Exhibit A.
Yeah, like they played the Barry Bay Cats tough. They played us tough 2 times till the later stages of the ball game. It's been one of those seasons like, hey, if they got a little luck or something, and
the ghost of Hastings Stadium comes in and starts playing the keys, and we will take a quick break, and Pompey will reset, and we'll see if that brings him some good fortune here in a count that is 2-2 with Ethan Hammond at third. Sean Hood Tidman sets and delivers. Pompey pokes one and chops it up the middle of the infield on his horse.
Play, infield single all the way.
Infield,
Orozco made the right call there to hold that one.
infield single and an RBI. It's 5-0. And Connor Morrow now back to the dish with one gone, and it feels like this bottom of the second is taking forever and a day already.
I think the Royals are just getting their bats back in order after last night, and the amazing performance by Jose Arias against the Royals last night as he went toe-to-toe with Claudio Custodio. It was just absolute delight to see that kind of pitchers matchup in the IBL, and it was just like those guys were going toe-to-toe. It was Rocky IV. It was Rocky versus Drago, and they were going the distance.
And if he dies, he dies.
Pretty much.
And Claudio Custodio ended up on top, and we were treated to quite the gem here last Saturday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that game last night in London, just another example of how good this baseball can get into the postseason. And as the sun starts to set a little bit earlier here, and what we're in store for, hopefully for a real long playoff run from the Royals, is even more of that. As Morrow looked at a second pitch called strike. It's 1-1, one gone. Pompey at first. Morrow pops one straight up behind home plate. And foul. 1-2 now. And with Guelph going to Kitchener tomorrow, knowing that no matter what happens here tonight, they need to win tomorrow again.
Exactly.
It's going to be one of these games where if they can get a good enough cushion, you will see where Dino Ramel can kind of then start thinking about the next 4 moves, like chess match.
Yeah,
if you will.
exactly. No, exactly. Especially in a spot like Jack Couch and everything else. But you don't want to pull your starting pitcher too early, especially when if he's pitching well. It's like, okay, let's see if you can get 5 or 6 out of you, and then I'll go to the bullpen for somebody as long as we got a big enough lead where it's not going to be within a grand slam deal, because that could happen easily in that park.
Absolutely. It absolutely can. But for the middle of the infield, Connor Morrow, a guy that I don't think he needs very many more reps at the plate if this team gets ahead by, say, 7 or 8 or 9 right now. And I'm getting ahead of myself. It's just 5-0 at the moment. But Pompey, Morrow, Riley, guys like that might just
say, hey, I'm good tonight. Let's get somebody else in there.
Exactly. And that one does not get through. On to second for one, and that is a
on the
throw
play.
in the dirt on double play, and
around the horn they went. 5-4-3,
and that'll bring the bottom of the second to a close, but not before the Guelph Royals bring 5 home. It's 5-0 through 2 from Hastings Stadium. Top of three. Excuse me, Neil. Guelph leading 5-0 after that 5-run explosion in the bottom half of the second inning. And the number 9 hitter, Andrew Garucki, will lead it off before we turn the lineup back over. And Emily Guerrero, another first pitch strike. And as our PA announcer, Mark Graham, said during the break, 29 wins on the season for the Royals. And Hammond can't come down with that one, looking to put an exclamation point on the statistic I was about to drop. 29 wins, a franchise record, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir, and it's been another one of these things that just add up to that whole pile of things and the reasons behind everything that we're going to definitely call this one of those remarkable seasons you don't see happen every year.
Exactly, and I hate to pat myself on the back, but I can't help to think that, maybe I'm just a little bit of good luck.
Just a little, eh?
That one pumped to left field over the head of Hammond, but does not have the legs. Hammond makes the catch. Garecki retreats to first. There's one gone, and that one seemed as if it might have been on its way to Sayonara Town, but kind of died out there in left field before that 325-foot
Center fielder
marker.
number 20, Jesse Fishbaum.
And you got to really commend the Red Sox for sticking this one out this year. As far as some teams would have saw the record halfway through and say, you know what, it's not worth losing all this money and everything else. Might as well just pack it in and cut our losses. But to their credit and everything else, these guys that come out on a nightly basis and just take their lumps, take their bumps, and everything else, they've been out there and they've been gamers every night.
And as you mentioned, with guys working shift work and having those other commitments and responsibilities, it speaks volumes about the character of this team for Brantford, that they're still going to, Jesse Fishbaum, still going to come on the road, still going to play every game that he can, even though they've won 2 ball games all summer long. It's not an easy thing to do.
Oh, it's not. No,
it's
no,
commendable at the very least. It's commendable.
And on the bright side is the Brantford Red Sox junior team actually won the single A OBAs a couple weekends ago, and it's just so that bodes well for this franchise as they go forward too. They've got some guys with some winning experience this year.
And I feel like, again, me being very green and new to the IBL, and you've been around the block once or twice and passed go and took $200 a few times. The parity of this league seems to be very interesting because this Guelph Royals team from day one seemed built to win.
Yeah.
And that can change in a hurry. And Terrasano tomorrow at second for the fielder's choice, force out, so they get the lead runner, but cannot turn the double play, so there's now 2 gone, but the Sox are still alive here in the top of the third.
Put up will go 3-6. Emily Guerrero just a little late on the coverage play there, and they had a chance to turn the double play and get out of there, but unfortunately Guerrero just forgot. I guess he forgot I got to cover in this situation, and was kind of late to the party there.
And I am going to just put it all on the table here, and Justin and Terrasano, I love you to death, and you're not the butt of every joke, but maybe Guerrero was just kind of shocked that Juicy got on that ball so quickly.
Maybe.
And I really, really hope Justin hears this and knows that
We're just
half
having some
joking.
fun.
Half joking.
We're having joke.
He does.
I know Vinny's going to show it to him later, and it's going to come back, and we're going to probably get an email at 3 o'clock in the morning or something bright and early tomorrow. We love you, Vinny. We love you, Justin. Just we'll leave it at that.
And I don't deal with the emails, so you can go ahead and, if you want Neil's cell phone number, I will post it on the chat. It's 1-1 now, 2 gone. That one well off the plate, and it's funny because again, Justin is the most beloved guy on that in that roster. But even when he does something as well as he just did,
somebody's
it's
going to ride
a
him.
low blow.
It's just a low blow somewhere.
2-1, swung on, and that'll be sliced down the left field line foul. It's 2-2.
No, it's important for him to get rolling, and important to get Riley rolling, just feeling confident at the plate again, get these reps in, just get back in the routine of swinging at baseballs again, because Riley's been in and out of the lineup a lot lately, especially with Aiden's team doing a lot of the tournaments in August and everything else, plus he's been working a fair bit too. So,
yeah, we were speaking, I was at his place for dinner last Friday. He said, I've taken 3 at-bats in about 12 days.
Yeah.
How are you going to get any consistency? And then Aiden was quick to remind both of us that you have as many stolen bases as you have home runs this year, Dad. When has that ever happened, Sean?
And you have kids when they start ripping you apart at the dinner table.
Someone might have given the tip of the cap on that one. It was maybe me. And that one, I believe, came in and made contact. So that'll be a free pass for Dzamba. So runners at first and second now with 2 gone. And Nick Burdett, the ever dangerous Nick Burdett, to the plate, and a guy who can really find a way to make contact and make contact with power is Burdett. And if you can do just that right here and now, that 5-0 lead will be very, very different. As the first pitch swinging and didn't like it, he was maybe a split second off. He got a heap of it, but just not enough. Flies out to Dalton Pompey at center for out number 3. It's 5-0 Guelph halfway through 3 innings. That one runs the count full.
Damn.
Full count for Interessano. Collymore at second. Swings and fouls it straight back and stays alive. So Interessano making Sean Hood-Tidman work for this one.
Apologies for the audio difficulties we experienced the last few minutes here. Somebody didn't hit a button somewhere, and
That's what happens when you leave Scott Fraser in charge of buttons. Should see how I tie my shoes.
I thought you switched to Velcro by now.
It is Velcro. It's still an uphill battle. Interessano looks at ball 4, and he is aboard.
And on that note, we'll move forward here.
2 on, 1 gone. A 6-0 lead for the Royals. They put 5 up in the bottom of the second and have it brought 1 home. Josh Garton scoring by way of an error by the pitcher, and
J.D. Williams.
Guelph comfortably ahead 6-0, and J.D. Williams looking to make that number even larger, with Collymore with great speed at first and Justin Interessano with speed at second rather. Collymore with great speed at second and Interessano with speed at first. Williams fouls one off to make it 0-1, and the Welland Jackfish are just laying the boots to the Baycats right about now. It's 9-2 in Welland in the top of the 8th inning. And Barrie has to go back home tonight and then get ready for the Brantford Red Sox tomorrow night at 7 p.m., which for both of those teams, both Brantford and Barrie, a meaningless game.
Yeah, nobody can advance in the standings or anything else, but, you know, everybody's playing 42 games, so they've got the honors of the last game of the regular season on the schedule anyways, as Collymore steals this one with ease.
Heck of a jump, and I think he had the book on Hood-Tidman right away, and he took off, and I believe that is a strikeout called on J.D. Williams as he laid off to allow Collymore to advance.
Brendan Keys.
So 2 gone now, runners on the corners, and Brendan Keys, who last time out cleared them and hit a triple. So we'll see if he can do the exact same thing here.
Perhaps something for the schedule makers to consider next year is last game of the season start everybody's game at the same time, so everybody has the same, advantage, disadvantage going into the postseason. If everybody's playing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday, and, it's a fair ride across the road there anyways.
As Keys swings at the first pitch he saw, and Nick Burdett was all over it to record out number 3. It's 6-0 Guelph. We are through 3 innings from Hastings Stadium.
Jamil Orozco.
Top of the fourth inning here at Hastings Stadium's Neil Srivastava in to call the next half inning. Well, Scotty Fraser has gone in search of condiments for his hot dog. As Orozco takes the first pitch outside for ball number 1. Royals up 6-0 here on the Red Sox. This one's skied high in the air. Brendan Keys and Malik Collymore converging, and it'll be Keys that drops the ball, and it's just a foul ball. Counts now even at 1-1. Orozco's got a new life here. Orozco sets back into the box here. Swings and misses at the next offering from Guerrero, and the count is 1-2. Time called by Orozco here as we're looking at something in the outfield by the looks of it. Oh, looks like everything's okay. Plate umpire just granting Orozco time. As Guerrero looks like in for the sign 1-2. Once again, the 1-2 pitch on its way. Swung and hit foul. Rick Parmelo unable to make the catch there as it drifts past him and goes out of play down the third base line. It's definitely been a long season for the Parmelo and the Red Sox here, but, you know, like I said, they're off the top. It's been kudos to them for sticking this one through. There was times here, and then that CHCH article came out as well, and it's just like, wasn't sure if they were going to make it through or not. Rumors were circulating that they were thinking about packing it in halfway through, and, of course, thankfully they didn't, and these guys have got a couple wins under their belts. And, you know, they got a little bit brighter future here because they're going to be smarter and wiser for the experience next year. As that one's fouled away again, and the count is now 2-2. Fouled away again. Nobody away here as Orozco, Evan Ryan, and Roger Keynes are due up here. Thank you, guys and gals, for tuning in on a weekly basis as you do while we're doing the YouTube broadcasts. If you guys are looking to send some feedback, constructive anyways, all means the chat's always open as well. So let us know how you're feeling, what you're feeling.
Satisfied and entertained, I would assume.
We'd hope so. Of course, the 50-50 draw has been extended to September 15th as well. So you got lots of time to get those tickets in. And of course, help support the broadcast. Go to Guelph5050.com. As Orozco goes down on strikes for out number 1. And Evan Ryan will be the batter now, the designated hitter tonight. He struck out in the first time through.
Number 70, Evan Ryan.
And the more you buy for that 50-50 draw online, the more you can win. And you might not have to hear me all that more often either. So,
operators are standing by, folks.
Lobbying for a replacement? Either you like it or you don't, and we'll take it either way as Guerrero is ahead 0-1 after that first out of the inning. The 0-1 coming, swung on and popped to shallow center. Garton calls everyone else off, makes the catch, 2 down.
The left fielder, number 14, Roger Keynes.
We are working on those cameras as, again, the twilight of summer. Sun sets real quick all of a sudden after it would hang high into left field till about the 5th or 6th inning in the middle of July. And Roger Keane looks at a first pitch strike. Emily Guerrero has been efficient as ever so far here through 3 2/3. That one off the plate, I believe. Yes, it is a ball, 1-1. That one does not get the call and was just a little bit outside, and a good eye from Keene to lay off it, and he is now ahead 2-1. The infield playing very, very deep and just looking to record that third out. Keene laid off. The appeal went down the first base line. He did not go around. It's 3-1. Guerrero delivers. Keene swings. Morrow makes the play over to Intercounty at first. Stretches and makes the play. Out 3, 6-3 put out. We are off to the bottom of the fourth inning.
The Royals leading 6-0.
6-0 Guelph into the bottom of the fourth inning. Ethan Hammond's night has come and gone. Jeff McLeod will step in lieu of Hammond, who likely just getting some rest, and young outfielder in Hammond has been very, very deserving of some rest after being fantastic and an everyday guy here through the first 41 games of 42 as McLeod swings and misses at strike one. So with an early afternoon game tomorrow and what you would call a must-win in Kitchener, perhaps just trying to get some different personnel out there. And Jeff McLeod making his time worthwhile, legs out, an infield single with those quick feet.
I think the first baseman the pitcher dropped the ball there on the transfer, so
Number 32.
might have to ask McLeod about that one after the game.
And I bet you dollars to donuts he'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So Pompey back to the top of the order. He'll be followed by Morrow and Garton with McLeod at first now. Swings at one and chops it right down the first base line and foul and into the seventh row of seats, which is, Neil, you can attest to it, the first time we can say 7 rows of seats down.
Oh, no question. It's great to see here, and it's just encouraging come the postseason that this place is going to be loud and it's going to be packed. And if you're in the opposing team, you're not looking forward to coming to Hastings Stadium.
And if you live in the neighborhood, get your tickets because you're not going to sleep before the game's
That's
over.
for sure.
I promise you that. It's now 1-1 as that pitch misses from Hood Tidbin. And we touched on it a little bit earlier last time Dalton was at the plate. With the amount of power that he's kind of put on display of late, he's not getting a little overzealous or aggressive at the plate. He's still being that patient hitter that we've seen all season long, waiting on his pitch. And now, Neil, will relay to your expertise. From what you've seen from Dalton, switch hitter, left side of the plate, right side of the plate, what have you been more impressed with? What would you prefer him to hit from?
Honestly, the right side, but he loves this left side. And, of course, a lot of the left-handers and everything else, he just loves this left side of the plate more. But he's been doing damage from both sides lately, so it's good to see.
Yeah, and back on Saturday 1 week ago when he switched sides in that 8th inning and pumped the first ball he saw from that side of the plate. Extremely impressive, and then followed it up with a two home run performance on Sunday against Brantford, and pokes one to right
There's
center
nobody
field.
even out there. Pompey, if he gets on his horse here, he might go for 3 for sure. Maybe even try for the inside the Parkers. Oh, Dino held up McLeod at third, or Pompey had 3 for sure.
Dalton didn't like it. I don't think McLeod liked it either, but I'm not quite sure why Dino held him off. There was a lot of time for Jeff McLeod, who maybe not the most quick acceleration, but by the time he was chugging, he was on his way home easily.
You got to see him making the high leg kicks down third baseline here because he's just trying to stay loose now. It's like, my quad's good to go here, Dino. Let me go.
You not see him leg out that infield single a couple of at-bats ago? And perhaps it's just, let's play it safe. Let's continue to just chip away and add to this lead. It's 6-0 already, but leads can evaporate quite quickly. So with no one gone and Connor Morrow to the plate, you now have McLeod at third, and Pompey will be on his heels very quickly if Morrow gets one into play here. So both will score regardless if Connor Morrow can get one.
The infield is, the middles are up. They're on the infield grass here. The third baseman has to stay relatively close to the base, but he's a few steps out here too. And
Connor Morrow loves to pull that ball to left field, as we've seen time and time again this season. So if you look
McLeod, I'm going to make sure I got a couple of feet off the base path here because it might be coming down as a bullet. Third baseman, I don't know. He maybe should be playing closer to the bag just to take the line away here, especially with Morrow up.
And Morrow's a smart hitter, too, in that right center field, but that is high and deep to left.
That's over the head of the left fielder anyways. He's not going to get to this one. It's going to bounce in off the fence. Pompey's walking around behind McLeod here. And a 2 roll come in, and Morrow's got himself a double.
And almost as expected, Dalton Pompey putting it
just
in
ask me,
neutral.
hey, do you want me to pick you up next time?
Give him the old poke along, and
come on, giddy up, let's go.
McLeod, a guy that will love to laugh about that too, and that's now 8-0, and everyone loves to laugh about that. And Josh Garton,
Number 15, Josh
with no one
Garton.
gone, and Connor Morrow at second base in scoring position, probably looking just to put an exclamation point on this inning. Already scored 2 runs now. It's 8-0. 5 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 here, 2 here in the fourth. And if my math is right, 5 + 1 + 2 is 8. So we will get my calculator out next time. Garton looks at a ball, and it's 1-0. That one caught on and fouled straight back to even the count at 1-1, and no one really kind of covering that middle part of the infield. Morrow with pretty much as much space as he elects to take here, but with an 8-0 lead and the juncture of this ball game, it's not like he's going to take off. But Garton pops one to left field. That's in the lights and caught for the first out here of the 4th inning. Garton just a little bit late on that one, and those lights of Hastings Stadium can always be deceiving and
Number 35, the third baseman,
can cause trouble, but that time
Collymore.
catch was made easily, and out number 1 recorded. Malik Collymore about to step back into the box. He is 1 for 2 with a strikeout, and Sean Riley loosening up on deck to follow. That one off the plate and ball one.
Collymore, who's singled and got stranded at third base. Last inning here, looking to get another hit here. He's 1 for 2 in the evening. Average is down to 348.
Down to
Down, yeah, down 348. That's still much better than I ever hit in this league or any league in general. I would have hit probably like any.
Better than I hit in T-ball.
Exactly. It's just another guy with another great season this year, and it's just been absolutely something special to watch this team come together and start to work together and start putting up some big numbers as a whole, as a core.
And when you think about the fact that they have Claudio Custodio and Andrew Case and everything in terms of on the mound, this lineup that just really is relentless it's nightmare fuel. I've said it time and time again this summer. It's how do you beat this ball team? That one in there for a strike. It's 3-1. And I think the addition of Andrew Case obviously helped Brandon Deans settle in as the setup man, and Jeffrey Nunez coming in as, maybe the
second or third starter, which one has to go.
2A, 2B starter, we'll call it. It's really rounded out this group exceptionally, and with Kyle DeGrace making his return to play, it's teams just seeming to get better and better and better and more experience, especially with DeGrace behind home plate when Custodio throws. It's just something that I don't think we've even seen the best of Guelph yet.
No, I don't think you have either, and it's just going to be fun to watch in this postseason.
33, Sean Riley.
We have certainly not seen the best from this man quite so far this season, and that is only meant to be a compliment because there is a lot left in the tank for the designated hitter for Guelph, Sean Riley. 2 men on, 1 gone. Collymore at first, Morrow at second. Riley looks at a strike.
I keep joking with him occasionally on Facebook Messenger, say, hey, we haven't seen the best of your hit yet this year so far. I have the feeling you've got one left, at least one left in the tank. One that matters here, so I'd love to see him get one in the postseason when it counts.
Crazy to think that with how many runs this team has scored and how many home runs they've hit, Sean Riley is still yet to really find his stride. And if and when he does, look out.
Yeah.
It could be back-to-back-to-back home runs for this team on a nightly basis. Swings hard at one, but it gets up behind home plate and just falls foul. 1-2 now.
Riley having words with the pitcher there. I'm like, hey, maybe throw him a little more off the plate here.
I like a high inside fastball right around the letters, please.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know if you know who I am.
I'm not sure why that's playing there, but that's okay.
Sounds like me
That
playing
sounded like
the piano.
something was like rest in peace to some bat somewhere or a ball. I'm not sure what happened there.
Slow motion take me out to the ball game.
Yeah.
1-2, and Terrasano behind Riley would be up next depending on what happens here. Riley looks at strike 3, and he is punched out and hates it.
Second strikeout of the night here too, so he's not too happy.
No, and I mean, that one looked pretty good from here, but Riley knows better than me, you, and everyone else in this league, so perhaps it was frustration or a combination of other things. Either way, Riley's down for out number 2, and Terrasano to the plate. Morrow still remains at second, Collymore at first. It's 8-0 Guelph. That one way, way off the plate.
For ball 1 here.
Ball 1 and a wild pitch as Connor Morrow and Malik Collymore will both advance 90 feet. Now runners at second and third.
Terrasano's with a double and a walk so far. He's 1 for 1. Trying to get that average up above 300 again.
And for a guy just like Riley, who hasn't really been able to find consistency in terms of health and in his own way in and out of the lineup, he had that flu bug to start the season, then had that quad injury right when he was kind of starting to settle in.
Yep.
Very impressive that he's hovering right around 300 for Intercounty.
And I think he's another one of these guys. If he gets going in the postseason here, it's going to be a deadly, deadly time to be an opposing pitcher here at Hastings Stadium or even on the road too.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Guelph, as fantastic as they've been here at home, as Intercounty wears one for a free walk down 90 feet to first base. Guelph really needs to find a way to, assuming worst case scenario they finish second or third, they're going to need to find a way to win some road games the way they're able to win so consistently at home. And it's something that you scratch your head now. Is it come playoff time, are you going to get more attendance, more guys that are going to be willing to make the trip? Or is it just something with the home cooking?
If the Royals finish tied in the standings with the Willing Jackfish, assuming both teams win tonight, and then tomorrow if they both lose, they're going to finish tied with the Jackfish. They're going to actually get second place because they won the season series against the Jackfish 4-2. And that's the first tiebreaker in any positional standings aside from first place. It's the head-to-head record between the two teams.
Correct. So with an 8-0 lead tonight, you would say worst case scenario, Guelph could finish second.
Yep.
All things considered, and I will quote you on this, never ever count on it until it's over. The student has become the master. And Williams looks at ball 2.
Well, we saw it happen earlier this week in the IBL as well. The Hamilton Cardinals rallied back against the Kitchener Panthers at Jack Couch on Tuesday night.
9 runs?
9 runs.
In 1 inning. And what was the final of that game?
I think it was like 15-14 or 15-12, something like that. It kept going back and forth, and that was also the game where the plate umpire took one right off the mask and had to leave the ball game. So it had to be after 12:30 by the time everything got out of there and the guys all got out of the dugout and everything else, and they were back at it Wednesday night.
And that's the tough part of this league. It's the nature of the beast is that you have a family, you have a job to go to tomorrow morning anyway. So it's 12:30 out of the ballpark, home by 1, and your heart rate's still going. And speaking of heart rates, J.D. Williams just pulls that one foul. That would have cleared likely all 3 of the base runners. Morrow, Collymore, and Intercounty. However, pulled it foul. It's 2-2, and we'll do it again.
That one. Williams looks a little, I don't want to say a little stiff, but he was just looking like he's kind of like nursing something going on back there.
Well, when Barry was in town and we were watching him, he swung and he looked to have pulled something in his midsection and wasn't quite moving with the same pizzazz as he's done all season long. So we'll see if maybe that might be the reason why, but that could be into no man's land into right field. But it is caught under the lights of Hastings Stadium for out number 3. The Royals lead 8-0 through 4 innings here at Hastings Stadium. We're off to 5.
Nolan Galler will come to the bat here at Hastings Stadium, pinch hitting for Jordan Young, whose night is done. He was 0 for 1. Reached on base on a fielder's choice as Gallagher will come to the plate now. First pitch from Emilio Guerrero is in there for a strike, and Gallagher's behind the count at 0-1. Popped in the air, and Terrasano has a read on it. Gets the glove on it, and there's one away as Gallagher's retired on 2 pitches. Andrew Gorecki now the batter as Scotty's enjoying one of the Hastings' finest hot dogs.
Andrew Gorecki.
And there's one away here. Brady Parmelo, the catcher, on deck. As Gorecki swings and misses at that offering. He singled in the 3rd inning and was thrown out 3-6 on the front end of the fielder's choice. Well, misses outside. Count is even at 1-1. Strike called by Dean Oberle, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swung on and missed, and Guerrero's got another strikeout. I believe that's 6 on the contest tonight. Not a bad night for Guerrero. And there's 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning.
Number 12, Brady Pomerleau.
Brady Parmelo, of course, the son of the third base coach and owner of the Brantford Red Sox, Rick Parmelo, will bat here. Parmelo's been seeing lots of action with their junior squad and occasionally been coming up to the big boys once in a while here to get some bats and get a little bit more experience with some better quality pitching than you see at the junior level. Like I said, the future is definitely a lot brighter than the Red Sox record is this year. Just got to be patient in Brantford as he swings and misses at that offering from Guerrero, and he's behind the count at 0-2. Jesse Fishbaum is on deck. Parmelo is 0 for 2. He struck out swinging in the 1st and flew it to left in the 3rd. 0-2 pitch is fouled away, and Guerrero will do it again at 0-2. For those asking in the chat tonight, when's the playoff schedule going to get released and everything else? We honestly don't know who we're playing yet. We got to wait till the balance of the schedule is played out here before we can make any announcements. This one's lined in off the hands, and McLeod is going to let that one bounce safely in front of him for a single. And Brady Parmelo is now 1 for 3 with a single.
The center fielder, number 20, Jesse Fishbaum.
Make sure you're following the Royals on social media. Look for @Guelph Royals or Guelph Royals Baseball on Instagram. On Facebook, and of course it is Guelph Royals Baseball Club as well on Facebook. Of course, to the YouTube channel, look for Guelph Royals Baseball Club. If you're watching tonight, obviously you found us somehow, so we appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't done so. Yes, the only series that probably will get announced tomorrow will probably be the Barrie-Toronto series. The rest will have to wait till likely, if everything goes according to plan, which 9 out of 10 times it does in the IBL, but there's that one time that something gets a wrench thrown in the ointment or something, and just something goes awry, so we'll see.
A wrench thrown in the ointment.
That's
That's a new one.
I think that's a new one. I think they messed that one up. I'll have to go look that one up at some point.
Fly in the ointment, wrench thrown in the plans. But hey, you know what? It's not often that I get to correct you as often as you get to correct me. So I will.
I'm waiting for the list to be put on the wall here. So it's just going to and Scotty got Neil on this one here. I think that's four in the last 3 weeks.
They're on my fridge at home. I'll bring them.
Oh, okay.
0-2 coming.
As he fouls that one away here. Fishbaum stays alive.
And that was a chase of all chases there by Fishbaum. Fought it off, but my oh my, that was a...
I think that was a late breaking pitch that Fishbaum committed to, and it's like, oh, man, now he's got to get a piece of it. He pops this one foul, and it's going to roll out of play, too. And we'll do it again at 0-2.
I have really admired the chemistry between Keys and Guerrero tonight so far, and a pair of catchers and pitchers that don't necessarily get all that much work together in have seemed to be on the same page all evening long. And we'll look for yet another strikeout, which I believe will be Emily's 7th of the evening if he can pull through here. The 0-2 coming, 2 down, off the plate for a ball.
And you got to figure out that, Claudio and Emily are roommates here. So, you see Claudio go out last night, throw 15 on the board. You think Emily's going, okay, I got to go out there and at least get 5 so I feel like I belong in the same house here.
And another 15 strikeouts for Claudio Custodio, and it's just becoming light work for the Royals ace.
And the strange thing is, okay, if the Royals do get to finish in first and have that one-game playoff against the London Majors, the stats count in the regular season. So you might see Custodio go out there for 2 innings or so and get to 200. Well, that one's lined up the middle by Fishbaum. He wins the battle here, and the Red Sox have got runners at first and second with 2 away.
And one would assume if, say, the scenario plays out the way that you just alluded to, that Guelph has to go down to London and play at Labatt for that playoff game to determine the first place spot. By that time, Claudio Custodio likely have enough juice in his arm back and gas in the tank to throw maybe more than 2 innings. And you know that ideally, Dino Ramel would love to be able to start him in that game if it does end up coming to fruition.
Oh, no question it would be, and but I'm just worried it might set up the rotation a little differently for the weekend as far as the playoff series goes, but that's going to drop in fair, and that's going to be trouble. And that one's going to roll all the way to the fence. McLeod is up with it, but that's going to score a pair of runs, and the Red Sox are on the board here now trailing 8-2. As Jean Dzamba once again strikes back against the Royals with a double here and a pair of RBIs.
Zamba doing exactly what his teammates have been looking to do all evening long. And I believe now he will be hooked for a pinch runner, or is that just a equipment?
I think he's just heading off his equipment here and going back to second base.
Yeah. A sad finish to his evening after a 2 RBI double. Okay.
Okay, you're done. There you go.
Give you the hook. Nick Burdett now with DeZomba at second. And 2 runs already across. Burdett chops one to Garton at second. Over to Interessano at first. And Burdett almost carried the baseball bat all the way down the first base line. Nonetheless, it is a 4-3 putout for out number 3. It is 8-2 Royals halfway through 5. 8-2 Royals here into the bottom of the 5th inning. Brendan Keys will lead it off for the Royals here with that 6-run cushion. Keys will be followed by Jeff McLeod, who took over for Ethan Hammond in left field and found his way aboard as a pinch hitter 1 inning ago. And Dalton Pompey will follow McLeod. So Keys, McLeod, Pompey. It's 0-1. That one slapped back up to short, over to first, and Burdette makes the catch for out number 1. Jeff McLeod back to the plate. He did reach base his first time up by way of an error, I believe was the way it was scored, Neil.
I scored an error right now until I'm told otherwise, but it looked like the first baseman, Burdette, flipped it to the pitcher, and the pitcher dropped it as McLeod was making his way across the base there, so it's going to be a tough call, but we'll message McLeod.
Do not cross Jeff McLeod. I can promise you that, unless you are a big fan of gardener snakes in your bag.
I don't want to wake up with a fish hook in my mouth somewhere either. So
catches worms for sport in his spare time, and Brandon Deans and Ben Reed can attest to the fact that he can sell the scare tactics about better than anybody in this league, and I think Ben Reed's having nightmares about that snake ending up in his bag when he goes back to the locker room.
McLeod's going to make sure he's got himself a hit tonight anyways, as he singles to right field here.
So a 1-out single from McLeod, and that flips the lineup back over for Dalton Pompey.
Let's go, people.
Pompey 2 for 3 rather, with a run scored, and that run scored was 1 inning ago, and as Neil and I both kind of had suggested, he was hot on the heels of Jeff McLeod coming home. So a bit of comedy here for the 7th and 8th runs for the Royals, and he will look to recreate that here now. Pompey takes one inside for a ball.
The ball definitely looked like it just kept curving inside here more than they wanted it to break, but
that one did not curve inside. Pompey just a hair late on it, and it's 1-1 as he poked it down the left field line, but foul. Count is even. And Sean Hood Tidman's pitch count must be getting up there at this point in time now.
yeah, he's at the 95 pitch mark now, so.
Make it 96 as that one misses low and outside.
And just like Brantford and a lot like other teams in this league right now, this is, I think, their 4th game this week. I think the Royals had 4 as well. Panthers had 3. Leafs had 2. So, yeah, some teams had a lot more games at the back end of their season. Of course, the Royals had a makeup game against the Red Sox on Wednesday night. So, just further compounds the issues as far as, you have to try to balance the rotation out as much as possible and save some arms for Sunday.
Yeah, best laid plans usually do not come to reality, and Mother Nature always has her hand in terms of there's no such thing as a perfect plan because you cannot forecast the weather, even if you're a weatherman, Neil.
Yeah, this unfortunately, as much as Back to the Future made fun of that in Back to the Future too, you could set your watch by setting the weather now because they can figure those things out.
So Connor Morrow back to the plate now.
Connor Morrow.
Morrow 1 for 3 in this game, and I don't want to call it too early, but this is probably the longest we've gone here at Hastings Stadium as we're through the bottom of 5 with a third. Not a home run yet, Neil. Just yet.
Yeah, well, some nights we don't get them. I had to look the stats up last night. We didn't hit one against the London Majors this year. Not
No
one.
way.
No way, not one. London hit 5 against us. We did not hit one against them, though.
A la Cleveland Brownlee, and
Robert Mullen.
We spoke about Murderers Row for the Royals, where that would actually be coming up next with Garton, Collymore, and Riley.
Well, I found it funny last night. I went on the field after the game just to say hi to Cleveland. He's like, so what do we got to do to win this thing now? I'm like, why are you asking me? Why don't you come ask Roop? It's like, Roop said, you're the man. I'm like, okay, fine. So I'll tell you. You got to win. You got to win Sunday.
Win.
Just win. And he's like, who's going to host a one-game playoff? I'm like, you guys. I'm like, what? No, we don't want that. He's like, I'm going to make sure Claudio can't lift his arm then. He's mad at all jokes and everything else. Cause
that is a recipe for success if you're Cleveland Brownlee and every other baseball team and power hitter in this league. If Claudio Custodio is worn out, that is a different recipe.
Josh Garton just beat Jordan Ember to the baseball just to prove a point. They got quite the rivalry going on here. I'm going to be interested to see what happens in the bottom half of the inning.
Josh always one for a good laugh as Morrow looks at ball 4. The bases are now loaded for the Royal second baseman, and
we'll definitely leave the cameras on to let the kids run the bases here. We'll definitely mute out the sound here, so in case we're dying of laughter or something up here, because I'm sure Garton wants a rematch after last week.
And I could not believe he took off on that lap well after Jordan.
Yeah,
and he pulled up.
Yeah, he did.
At the end.
He did.
I could not believe the speed of number 15 for the Royals at 260-plus pounds with that nagging back injury that's hampered him all summer long. It's just a incredible amount of getaway sticks on him, and with the power in the bat, it's just a cocktail for a championship trophy here with Garton and Riley and Collymore and Pompey ahead of them as Garton looks at strike number 1.
There's been a lot of lean years, a lot of heartache in Royals land since 2004 here. Royals looking to make their first trip back to the finals since 2004, of course. Last time they finished first in the league was 2005, and they lost in the semifinals to the Barrie Baycats, who at that point were the young up-and-coming team. They had absolutely nothing to lose when they came in here to Hastings Stadium in that semifinal series. I remember Ryan Spataro, Jordan Lundberg diving flat out on baseballs that usually would not be caught here, but they found ways into their gloves, and it just tore their hearts out of a lot of the Royals and a lot of the Royals fans in that year.
2005 was half a lifetime ago for me.
Back in my day, we liked it. We liked it just fine.
Garton fouls that one off to stay alive. It remains 0-2. Back in 2005, when they were making those fantastic catches, I was really, really hoping not to fail my G1 test.
Yeah, I can imagine. No, it's been I look back at those teams and everything else and go, then we ran into the Brantford Red Sox in that dynasty every year in the semifinals for so many years in a row. And then it was the Barrie Baycats' turn. And we would just run into the same thing. It would just be those Baycats, those Red Sox. It's just like it for everything else. And I talked to John Kastner about this a couple weeks ago, and it was just like his predecessor, Dr. Stuart Smith, had only presented the trophy only ever in his tenure as commissioner of this league to the Brantford Red Sox. And up until last year, John Kastner had only ever presented the trophy to the Barrie Baycats. So it was so different last year to finally present it to somebody else.
So the parity of this league, as we mentioned a few innings ago, has been interesting, but at the same time, it's been time and time again perennial powerhouses. So we'll hope that the Royals are getting their turn here this summer. Garton, no sell job needed on that one. That was well inside, and that runs the count full. And after Josh fell behind 0-2, does a great job of laying off a couple pitches and then taking one inside. Payoff pitch coming, one gone. Bases loaded. 8-2 Royals for the moment.
And Garton takes ball 4, and he'll take the easy RBI for a change here as McLeod touches home, and it's now 9-2.
The third baseman, number 35, Malik Collymore.
Malik Collymore 1 for 2 on the evening here. He's also got a walk. He struck out swinging in the second inning. Singled in, got stranded at third. And the fans, the kids are down the third base line, are cheering for a grand slam here.
And that one might not have the sticks to get there, but that'll drive in at least 2 runs, maybe more. Josh Gurton getting held at third. Connor Morrow, Dalton Pompey, both cash to make it 11-2.
Cullimore got one up in his wheelhouse there, and maybe just a little ahead of that one, but he'll still take the double off the fence here.
Double off the fence and 2 RBIs to add to his total, and that 348 average that it had fallen to is now well above 350.
That'll bring up Riley one more time here anyways as they're having a conversation on the hill. He's at 110 right on the nose right now.
Sean Hood Tidman at 110 pitches in this ball game, and Sean Riley will get a first-hand look at pitch 111.
Sean Riley.
Riley quite quiet at the plate tonight so far, and with 2 men in scoring position now, it's due time for the king of swing here in the IBL. All-time leader in hits, home runs, and RBIs. Riley chops one to short. That might not do it, as that is over to Burdette at first, but it does cash in Josh Garton to make it 12-2.
Riley gets the RBI on the ground out.
And advances the runner Collymore to third.
First baseman, number 24, Justin Interessano.
Justin Interessano with Collymore 90 feet away from making it 13-2. Again, as much fun as we poked at him tonight. After 111 pitches for Hood Tidman, here's 112. It's inside 1-0. Terrasano, this would be a great time for him to get a hold of one and really just make some good contact and find a way to make it fall in there or get over the wall, either or.
We've seen this time and time again, unfortunately, for the Red Sox this year here, especially at Hastings Stadium. Seen another pitcher that just had to go out there and, pardon the word, suck one up here for an extra inning than probably more than he probably should have. But it's just how it works out sometimes. You get 4 games in a week, and it's like you got enough starting pitching for 4 games, but then after that, the relief corps gets pounded. And the catcher lost this one, and that one's going to go foul.
Lost it rightfully so as it landed on top of the roof. And as mentioned, those lights at Hastings Stadium are unforgiving at their best, as that one out of play. It's now 2-1. And all 2,432 fans in attendance here tonight cheering on the hometown team. And Terrasano looks at ball 3. It's 3-1. So as we continue to count the heads, this is the highest attendance record we have had here at Hastings Stadium all summer long, and likely only for the time being until the playoffs start, and that number will then be crushed as Interessano looks at ball 4 and is aboard. Runners are now at the corners.
Right fielder, number 9.
And for the Royals fans watching at home on YouTube, I would definitely start making plans to be here next Saturday night for sure. So yeah, get a babysitter, line it up, whatever, bring your buddies, or heck, even bring the kids down here.
Bring the kids, bring your buddies, buy some beers, enjoy this wonderful ballpark and this exciting team to watch. As that one well off of home plate, and Collymore almost.
I think at this stage the Royals are playing station to station. You don't want to show up the Red Sox here.
Exactly.
Anymore, you have to. And Terrasano has to take the base here, and Collymore, it's kind of like, okay, well, we'll see.
And if you know Malik, he's not the guy. He's not going to jump on that opportunity to score a run. And it was almost mercifully, if that is the correct way to say that word, he ended up taking home because he had to. he was in no hurry to try to jump on it. But
I don't think he's got any. Well, maybe there's been somebody over warming up. It's kind of hard to see because they might be also a little shorter than the fence here, but we couldn't see anything with this going on out here and everything else. I guess it looks like somebody is coming in from the bullpen now, so relief is on its way. We'll take a break here, and we'll be back with that pitching change after the break. Welcome back to Hastings Stadium. Royals up 13-2 on the Brantford Red Sox. As we're missing a run count here on the scoreboard. And Graham Tebbett takes over on the mound.
Let's go, kids. Want to hear you.
J.D. Williams will face Tebbett with an 0-1 count on him already here. (13-2) is your score here. Justin Terrasano stands at second base here with a 1-ball count to him. You can hear the kids and that's ball 3 here as Tebbett can't find the strike zone so far. The Red Sox having to go into their bullpen mercifully here. The Royals have definitely gone station to station baseball now. As Williams, long Clark's one to deep to center field here. Center fielder's going to look back and watch this one go. Home run for J.D. Williams. It went off the batter's eye in center field. Of course, by baseball rules, that is a home run here. It's now 15-2 for the Royals. As Williams gets kind of the silent treatment as he comes back to the plate here.
Brendan Keys.
So go back to the wide shot here and clear the count. And Brendan Keys will be the batter now with 2 away. Here in the home half of the 5th inning. Keys fouls the first offering away, and it's strike 1. Count is now 1-1 to Keys. In there for a strike, and it's 1-2. Strike zone has definitely gotten wider here tonight, and I don't blame anybody in the ballpark for that here as we're in the 5th inning and we're at the 9:30 mark, 2 hours into this ball game. Still lots of baseball to be played tonight and tomorrow if the weather holds off. As Keys hits this one into center field. Center fielder and left fielder converging, and that's going to drop in. And Keys has got himself a double here. Great hustle by Brendan Keys on that play. To run it out anyways, and that's a good lesson for the youngsters in the crowd here. Always run things out. You never know what could happen here. Keys gets himself a double. And Jeff McLeod will bat for the 2nd time this inning.
Jeff McLeod.
And Alan Ross, thank you so much for chiming in there. I knew you had the answers, Al. I was going to guess it was Dino with that. That job that year. Of course, I remember Spaljarek chasing Delfino around the base paths after that home run. (23-0) at home. That's a great thing. And Brent, yes, there could be a 3-way tie for first going to the last day of the season, as that one's called for a strike. And McLeod didn't really agree with it, but again, you got to look at the scoreboard and recognize the situation here too. As he turns on that one, but it's going to go foul, and the few kids that aren't running the bases down here lined up to run the bases are going after the souvenir and looking to turn that one into the snack bar for a freezy. And thank you so much for watching on YouTube this evening. Scotty Fraser has left the building. He had to go back to a wedding tonight, so and congratulations to the Rattray family on the wedding and the nuptials. Hope it's a great celebration of life and everything else tonight. A very joyous occasion as Burdett's going to camp underneath this one. It's going to run off the face of the dugout. And the count's going to remain 0-2 to McLeod. We're definitely going to leave the camera up this half inning, and you're going to watch how many kids are here. If you don't believe us, this place is filled to the brim here. We're going to have to get some extended seating or something for playoff time, as you can't find a spot down either line right now. One-two pitch on his way from Tebbett to McLeod. McLeod fouls off another one. And we'll do it again at 1-2. Strike 3 called. McLeod knew it. He didn't argue whatsoever. He'll go back to the dugout, get his glove, and we're going to let the kids take over here. Welcome back to Hastings Stadium. Top of the 6th inning. I'm Neil Srivastava. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Hope you're having a great Saturday night wherever you may be, or Saturday or Sunday morning, depending if you're watching. Like I know a few people do watch us in Auckland, New Zealand, and points in between. We also have fans in the Netherlands, too, and we do appreciate you guys and gals staying up late with us or getting up early to watch some baseball. Danny Marquez takes over on the mound here for the Royals. As he got an 0-2 count here to Jamil Orozco. Royals trying to do their part to finish out the heading into the postseason strong, and that one's fielded cleanly by Morrow on the bounce, and there's one away.
Designated hitter number 70, Evan Ryan.
Evan Ryan, the batter now.
End of the 7th? Yeah, okay.
The stretch.
Yeah. That gives me time to get down.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Anybody.
It's the first time you come up here. I usually get a text
I know.
or a call.
I know.
Yeah.
We're short on staff.
Okay. And there's no walkie-talkie.
Ryan fouls off that first offering,
Good that you said the 7th now.
Okay.
and that one's called strike 2.
You don't want it to, instead of doing it after the game, you have to do it.
Yeah, he wants to do it while the more fans are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially
That's a
in
good
the
idea. I like
That's right.
Marquez looks in for the sign, winds and works. 0-2 pitch on its way.
That's right.
Grounded to second base, Garten up with it on the hop. He'll throw to first, and there's 2 away here in the 6th inning. 4-3 goes the putout. Marquez is on an out away from a clean 6th inning. Roger Keane will be the batter now. He's 0 for 2. He struck out swinging in the 2nd inning and went grounded out 6-3 in the 4th. Keane batting 172 on the year. The future's a lot brighter for these Red Sox, I can assure you, and I hope the Red Sox fans have been watching at home. Take that to heart. Not so long ago, the Royals were in your situation, enduring some really tough years in a row, but then everything turned the corner in 2018 and 2019. And, of course, this year, definitely announcing they're back with a Thunder here on their way. Hopefully, if the score holds up, to win number 30 on the season. As Marquez misses, count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thankfully, the weather has held off to this point in the ball game. Of course, by league rules, we'd have to suspend the game and left to the league to decide if the game is going to be official or not.
We go to the home half of the 6th.
As we take a break, as we head to the home half of the 6th inning after the break. Sorry for the slight delay, fans. A little bit of a mound visit between innings here. As Grant Tebbett still trying to get loose here. Manager Rick Pomerleau went out, so did most of the infield here, trying to see if Tebbett was okay to pitch this one. As Dalton Pompey will lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Royals. Apologies, we're trying to talk over the microphone, or over the sound in the background too. A capacity crowd on hand tonight, and Pompey takes strike one. Tebbett doesn't look like he's too comfortable out there whatsoever right now, but this one's hit foul. Pompey fouls that one off, and it's 0-2. Pompey breaks his bat, but it's going to look like it's going to dive, and that's going to die a hero anyways, as Pompey's got himself another hit tonight. Stay hot, Dalton Pompey. 3 for 4 with a walk tonight. And Connor Morrow will be the batter now. Morrow is 1 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs. He grounded into a double play. He grounded up to third base, and he's walked and scored a run tonight. As Pompey's night looks like it's done, and we got a pinch runner in, number 19, coming in here. Owen Ellis coming in to run for Dalton Pompey and likely take his spot in the order.
Batter, shortstop, number 2, Connor Morrow. And pinch running at first, number 19, Owen Ellis.
Morrow's fixed this one in the infield. Nobody sees it on the infield. That's going to be trouble. That's going to bounce in there for a base hit. Actually, it's going to be a fielder's choice as Ellis is retired by the second baseman to the shortstop. And there's one away as nobody knew where that baseball went. And Morrow's aboard here on the fielder's choice. And Josh Garton will be the batter. 15-2 is your score as the Royals have it out now.
Number 15, Josh Garton.
Put out will go 4-6 to retire Ellis, who ran for Pompey, who singled to start the inning. Ball one is in there to Garton. Ellis made his debut Wednesday night against the Brantford Red Sox and collected a 3-hit night, actually, if I'm not mistaken. As a lot of juniors got a chance to come up and, have some at-bats against the Brantford Red Sox. A lot of guys a lot of regulars in the lineup not available on Wednesday evening. Of course, it was a makeup night, so wasn't on their original work schedules or anything else, so they probably booked off like Tuesdays and everything else. But they definitely filled in admirably here, and that count is now 3-0 to Garton here. Garton scored a pair of runs and doubled so far as he takes strike one. And the count is now 3-1. One away here in the Royals' 6th inning. And Garton will walk down to first. Oh, actually, he's going to sprint down to first. And Malik Cullimore will bat here.
The third baseman, number 35, Malik Cullimore.
Runners at first and second with just one away here in the Royals' sixth inning. Great to see this, the tweet outs by the Welland Jackfish this evening on a capacity crowd in Welland. Not only do they get treated to a ball game, they also get fireworks at the conclusion of the game. As the Jackfish won that one handily over the Barrie Baycats this evening. I didn't see the final score, but the last time I looked, I think it was 9-2. That count missed. The pitch misses again, and it's 2-0 to Cullingworth here. There's a strike called. The count is 1-2. Well, thank you for checking us out on YouTube as you guys have been doing all season long. We really do appreciate it. It's been great to see the numbers of viewers at homes and various places climbing throughout the year. We had our 100,000th view this year not so long ago, so that was really, really great to see. That one's fouled away, and the count is 2-2. Ball misses. It's 3-2 now. Tebbett does not look comfortable out there whatsoever, but he's a gamer and a true gentleman, wants to get through this inning anyways. Give the beleaguered Red Sox bullpen at least another inning off their list here. As Cullingworth comes through with a single through the left side, and the Royals are playing station-to-station baseball, so the bases are now loaded for Sean Riley, which now can actually be Darius Barless is coming to bat for him instead here.
Pinch hitting for Guelph, number 4, Darius Barless.
Mark Graham's going to need some Ricola if we're not careful here. Bases loaded, one away for Barless here. He takes ball one. Brady Tebow, thank you so much for the message on Facebook Messenger as well. We appreciate it. Pitch number 2 is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Thank you so much, Gar. Really do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy weekend schedule and gracing us with your presence and a few shots for the scrapbooks and to making my stories make more sense to people who can't attend in person. As Barless fouls that one away, and it's 1-2. Ball misses outside. It's 2-2. Sacks are full here, full of Royals once again. Graham Tebbett trying to get it through this inning anyways. Not sure what's the other option down for the Red Sox after Tebbett, but I'm sure they'll figure it out next half inning. Well, great that you and your son Calvin are enjoying the ball game, Mr. Tebow. Congratulations on a great season yourselves as well. Barless tees off on this one. That one's hit deep to right field. That looks like it's going to be trouble. It's going to drop in off the gap, and everybody's station to station. Garten not wasting any time. He's racing home to give Barless 2 RBIs on that single. Under normal circumstances, he would have probably got at least a double out of that one. Maybe even a triple. It's now 17-2.
The first baseman, number 24, Justin Interessano.
Give Barless 2 RBIs. Runners at second and first now with one away. Well, thanks, Calvin, for the vote of confidence. Known your dad for many, many years. We go way back. As Intercounty skies went high in the air here, and once again, nobody else calling for it. Tebbett takes it himself this time, and there's 2 away. J.D. Williams will be the batter now.
The right fielder, number 9, J.D. Williams.
J.D. Williams, the right fielder, who's homered his last time up, will be the batter now. Royals leading this one 17-2. Here in the home half of the 6th inning. Still lots of baseball to play. Reminder, fans, we have extended the 50-50 online to September 15th. So you get more time to get some more tickets in there if you haven't bought them already. All the proceeds going towards the broadcast and helping us improve the broadcast for next season. Maybe a couple of new cameras and a couple new microphones. Who knows? We'll see what else we can get into with the proceeds of the 50-50. As Williams hits one to the left, and that's going to drop in for another base hit. And the Royals have definitely just got all the stop signs here, just taking one base apiece here. As Williams stops at first with a single. Brendan Keys will be the batter now, the catcher. Excuse me. Gatorade's talking back. Keys didn't even go up there with a bat.
The catcher, number 23, Brendan Keys.
We'll switch to the wide shot here for a second. Looks like the camera got bumped. Have to readjust it between innings. Keys swings and misses at the first offering from Tebbett. Falls behind the count. Ball misses low, and it's now 2 balls and a strike here. On Keys. The 2-1 pitch on its way momentarily. Keys holds this one to center field. That's going to be a tough play. Shortstop backpedaling, makes the catch, and the inning's over. Got to make sure he made the grab there. Inning is over. The Royals get 2 runs on 4 hits. There was no errors. They leave 3 aboard here. As we head to the top of the 7th inning, Royals leading this one 17-2. Ben Reed, the new pitcher for the Royals here in the top of the 7th inning as they lead the Brantford Red Sox 17-2. Hope everybody is having a great night wherever you're watching, or a great morning or evening or afternoon. Happy time zones to everybody. It's been a great week of baseball to be in, a great week to be a Royals fan, as the Royals have really come together as a squad here, and as they're heading the postseason, it's going to be an exciting postseason run. That's for certain. Our opponents still to be determined. But like I said, make plans to be here next Saturday night here at Hastings Stadium with us. As Reed continues his warm-ups here. Daniel Marquez had an open inning there. 3 up, 3 down on his last appearance, and Reed now in. Take the baseball for an inning or so here. See how he goes.
Off for Brantford in the top of the 7th. Number 10, Nolan Gallagher.
Looks like Owen Ellis has gone into right field. J.D. Williams has slid over into center field. Not sure. Just looking for it. Cush and Josh Garton look a lot, so Garton has gone out somewhere. They both got the same hairstyles. They might have the same same hairstyles. Look, you know, the Hulk Hogan lookalike contest going down this year. We're gonna have to start playing real American, even though we're Canadian. So I don't know. It just seems kind of weird. But if it works for Dan Mahoney of the Kitchener Panthers, it might as well work for Josh Garton or Kyle Cush, even just for some fun. As Reed's pitch misses high, and in the ball, it's 2 balls and a strike here. We'll wait for the defensive changes to be announced in the next half inning, I'm sure. That one's in there for a strike, and evens the count at 2-2. Royals got off to a slow start in the first inning. Nothing across, but scored 5 in the second inning. 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 7 in the fifth inning, and 2 in the sixth here. They've been piling all the runs tonight, as the Red Sox just running out of pitching options. Of course, they're scheduled to play the Barrie Baycats tomorrow night, the last game on the Intercounty schedule. Royals, if the weather permitting, are in Kitchener tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Welland's playing Hamilton at 2. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are hosting the London Majors at 2 o'clock as well at Christie Pitts. As Gallagher takes a walk here.
The right fielder, Andrew Gurecki.
Andrew Gurecki, now the right fielder, will be the batter. First pitch from Reed is in there for a strike. Count is 0-1. That one's fouled back here, and we would have caught it if the ball came up here. But that screen once again saves our lives. And Reed's got an 0-2 count to Gurecki. 0-2 pitch on its way, misses outside for a ball, and it's now 1-2. Gurecki goes down to strikes, and there's one away. Brady Parmelo now the batter. Jesse Fishbaum on deck for the Red Sox. Should Parmelo find a way to extend this inning, or actually there's only one away, so he definitely will be on deck here. And his running going on the first pitch here. He steals the base on defensive indifference. I don't know why he would run down 17-2. It just don't make any sense here, but teach their own. I guess, the kid's trying to pad his own personal stats here. Some ball games in this league, you might get the next batter up, might get one in an ear just as retaliation. Not suggesting that's going to happen or anything, but it has happened in the past. As the plate umpire called time to clear the plate a little more. As the count still at 0-2 to Brady Parmelo. Reed steps off, adjusts his posture, looks in for the sign from Keys. 0-2 pitch on his way. Swung on and missed, and Parmelo goes down on strikes. And Reed's got a pair of strikeouts on the evening. They're having quite the conversation behind the plate here. Thank goodness we don't have the catchers mic'd up here. I can only imagine what's going on back there. I think they're both dumbfounded. He ran to second base. We're like, how did he get there? He just ran. He walked down there, basically. Defensive indifference, definitely the call. As Reed just doesn't get that one to zip down in the zone far enough. Count as 1 ball and no strikes. Two away here in the top of the 7th inning. There's a strike called. The count's now 2 balls and a strike. We're hearing that Royals manager Dino Romell is going to address this crowd in this half inning, so we'll leave the cameras up for you guys and gals, and hopefully the house mics pick it up. As Reed's got the count to 2-2. Got a slew of defensive changes. We'll have to make sure we got everybody in the ball game here as the Royals will come up in the 7th inning. Looks like Kyle Cush has gone to second base. Owen Ellis is in right field. I can't tell who's in left. That might be Garton, actually. We'll have to see. As Reed strikes out 3 batters here in this inning. That's a great outing for Ben Reed here as we head to the home half of the 7th inning.
3 strikeouts, nothing across. We go to the home half of the 7th, 17-2 Guelph.
This one right here. Go, go.
And now, Guelph Royals, Dino Romell would like to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last regular season home game. Here's our great owner, Sean Fuller, Natasha Fuller. We want to say thank you for all your support this year. We're so excited, and we appreciate all your support and coming out and watching us play. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank all the volunteers who have done such a great job all season long. So let's have a round of applause for our volunteers who make game day possible. Hopefully with a win tonight and a win tomorrow, we have an opportunity to play for first place. And we will have more opportunities to play here at home in front of you. And I'll tell you what, every single guy in this dugout knows that we have the best fans in the Intercounty. And we are so grateful for everything you've done. And one more thing. The next time I address you all, it will be with a trophy in our hands and a celebration for the city of Guelph. Good.
Welcome back to Hastings Stadium. Ashton Patterson's got a one ball, no strike count to him. As Aiden Colangelo took over on the hill for the Brantford Red Sox. The count's even at 1-1 now. Patterson, we're assuming, went into left field in the top of the inning. The Royals making lots of wholesale changes here. It's now 2 balls and a strike. But thank you all again for tuning in this evening. Of course, manager Dina Rommel addressing the crowd during the 7th inning stretch. Thanking the volunteers for their hard and countless hours they put in behind the scenes. Of course, it takes a village to run a ball club here. That's no question. Night in, night out, a lot of these volunteers give up a lot of their time here. Don't think for a second we don't notice their contributions here as a club. As Patterson takes a 5-pitch walk here, and he's aboard with nobody away here to start the 7th inning.
Now pitch hitting for Guelph, number 19, Owen Ellis.
As Owen Ellis will be the batter now. He's in right field. He took over for Dalton Pompey. J.D. Williams went to center field. Ellis fouls off the first offering he sees. Ball misses low, and it's 1-1. Nobody away here in the Royals' half of the 7th inning. 17-2 is your score. The Royals just trying to get their part of the bargain here done this evening anyways. And worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes. 2 balls and a strike now, the count. As Connor Morrow waits on deck. That one hits Ellis in the backside here. And there's runners at first and second now.
The shortstop, number 2, Connor Morrow.
First pitch tomorrow is fouled away here. Sorry, we're doing double duties here, so apologies if the count's a little behind. A lot of defensive changes to make sure we got through on point streak as well. It looks like we're all caught up now. One pitch tomorrow is in there for strike, and it's now 0-2. Like we've mentioned many times before, later in the ball game, the strike zone on the IBL definitely does widen out. And Morrow now got an 0-2 count on him. Defensive swing here, that's going to be down here, and they're going to throw to first for the out, and Morrow's retired. Looks like he's going to be okay at the plate here as he's going to walk off a little gingerly anyways. And Kyle Cush will bat for Josh Garten here with one away.
Now pinch hitting and playing second base.
1-3 goes the put out.
Kyle Cush.
As Connor Morrow did the excuse me check swing there to self-defense more or less. And he's out for out number 1. Runners at second and third now with one away for Kyle Cush. Cush takes ball number 1. Swing and a miss, and he goes down to even the count at 1-1. Can't ask for a better thing to happen in the IBL this year. The final games of the season meaning so much to so many teams. Bodes well for the league going forward. As that ball misses, and it's now 2 balls and a strike. Of course, we'll be on the Kitchener Panthers broadcast tomorrow afternoon with Mark Perry as well, as the Royals take on the Panthers. Of course, weather permitting, that one's lined to the second shortstop, and he's going to win the foot race. And the inning's over. Royals get doubled off. They leave a runner aboard at third. So at the top of the 8th inning, Royals leading this one 17-2. Welcome back to Hastings Stadium. Top of the 8th inning. John DeZomba, the batter for the Brantford Red Sox, who trailed the Guelph Royals 17-2. The Royals trying to do their part to go a three-way tie into first place in the last day of the IBL season. John DeZomba takes the ball, number 1 from Lucas Berry, the pitcher for the Royals here. So he fouls off that offering. Count is even at 1-1. DeZomba, one of the bright spots in this Red Sox order this year. He's definitely got some more power than I thought I'd remember him having. But he's definitely been swinging the bat well tonight again. He's 2 for 2 with a hit by a pitch. He's got a single and a double and 2 RBIs here. He homered against Kitchener earlier this week as well, so he definitely can swing it. So he fouls that one away. Count is 1-2. All teams in action tomorrow in the IBL. The London Majors at Toronto. Game time is 2 o'clock at Christie Pitts. Guelph Royals in Kitchener at Jack Couch Park at 2 p.m. as well. Hamilton Cardinals hosting the Welland Jackfish at 2 p.m. as well. And, of course, the last game of the season will be the Barrie Baycats and Brantford Red Sox. That game is at 7 p.m., so maybe next year the league will decide to put everybody starting at the same time in the last day of the season. Seems a little weird that the Baycats and the Red Sox get to wait till 7 o'clock tomorrow night to play a baseball game. It's a long trip from Brantford to Barrie, that's for sure. An even longer drive home as Barrie is going to get out of the way here and let somebody else catches one as Collymore will grab it. That one's skied a mile high in the air here, and Collymore makes the catch for out number 1. Nick Burdett down the batter, the first baseman.
25, Nick Burdett.
Burdett 0 for 3 in the contest. He struck out swinging in the first inning, flew out to the center fielder in the third, and grounded out to second base in the 5th inning. Burdett collecting career hit number 300 earlier this season and career bat number 1,000 in his storied career. As that misses in there for ball number 1 from Barrie. There's a strike call. That one's driven but foul. Evens the count at 2-2. Ball 3, the count is full. Burdett takes the walk with 1 away. Jamil Orozco will be the batter now.
Second baseman,
Orozco 1 for 3. He's singled in the second inning, struck out swinging in the 4th, and grounded out to shortstop in the 6th. The crowd has definitely thinned out considerably here as the score seems to be well in hand for the Royals fans. But they are the true diehards that will stick it out to the very end. And we thank those for hanging around, and thank again to everybody who's watching at home on YouTube. And don't forget to buy your 50-50 tickets, as Sean Fuller casually nudges me in that direction. If you go to Guelph5050.com to purchase those tickets online. Help us improve the broadcast for the 23 season. I know my mom got hers instead of my fiance, so we got a few tickets out there. That one's not going to drop in. Alice is not going to catch the catch. Burdett's going to round the bases and head for third, and Orozco's got himself a double here with 1 away. Evan Ryan will be the batter now.
Ryan.
Roscoe looks like he's got himself a little ginger here. Somebody runs out to check on him. Put the helmet down. Maybe he's just trying to stretch something out. Maybe he has a cramp. Who knows? But he looks like he's just going to stay in the ballgame anyways, or he's trying to stay in the ballgame. Looks like he's all right. Everybody's going back to their positions here. So go to the wide shot once again.
That timeout was brought to you by the Lucky Belly Restaurant on Woolwich Street here in Guelph.
So Lucas Berry will look in to face Evan Ryan here with runners at second and third and just one away. 17-2 is your score. Royals scored in bunches through many, many innings here, except for the first and the seventh. Ball one is the count here. Make it ball two now. My partners up here are talking about how good the food is at Lucky Belly here. Now you're making me hungry. And it's now 3-0 count here to Evan Ryan. But yes, I definitely recommend go check out Dino Romel's restaurant, Lucky Belly, on the just off the corner of Woolwich and Woodlawn here in Guelph. Make sure you go try it out. Definitely love the Spartan box, and we also love the Beat box. So looking for a little more healthy alternatives. There we go. You can also add chicken to it. And Terrasano tries to make the kick save. Everybody's checking on each other here. There's a head-on collision on that one. Looks like we're giving the run will score here, and it's now 17-3 anyways. Umpire called time, and then Terrasano looks like he's okay. Shaking the cobwebs off. Orozco had to stay at second base there.
14, Roger Keane.
Just one away. The pitch is now 1-1 here to Barry on Roger Keane. Going the scorebook as an E6, no RBI on the play. The count's now 2 balls and a strike. And it's now 3-1. One's line to left, and Collymore makes the grab, throws to second base, and turns the double play. Give that man a beer. Lucas Berry's buying. Royals get out of the jam. It's 17-3 as we head to the home half of the 8th inning after the break. Lee Cullingmore will lead off the 8th inning here for the Royals in their half anyways. 17-3 is the score here. Royals on top of the Red Sox as Cullingmore takes strike one from Aiden Colangelo. Looking back at the messages from Brady Tebow, thanks so much for that stuff. He's trying to get my goat here. He was reminiscing with his sons and I guess Kelly Hansen as well. Both times gone past here. I used to coach high school baseball here in town. Some great rivalries between GCVI and Centennial back then. I don't know, I've got a ring in my closet somewhere with 3 championships in a row on it. Would love to add another one to my trophy case before the end of this year. As Cullingmore fouls that one off, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes. Looks like the camera's having some issues tonight, but that's okay. We'll figure it out for playoff season. Of course, we don't know who the Royals' opponent will be yet, so stay tuned to the Royals website at guelphroyals.com. Check us out on Facebook under the Guelph Royals Baseball Club. We're at Guelph Royals on Twitter or in social media as well, and Instagram. Guelph Royals Baseball. We'll get this playoff schedule to you guys as soon as possible. Do want to remind our season ticket holders that season ticket passes expire at the end of the regular season and they're not valid for postseason. But stay tuned. We do have some special announcements for our season ticket holders in regards to playoff ticket pricing as well coming in the next few days. As Cullingmore reaches out and touches one here, it's going to drop into the center field for a base hit, and Cullingmore's aboard to start the 8th inning. That'll bring up Darius Barlas now. Barlas took over for Riley in the 6th inning.
Number 4, Darius Barlas.
He singled and drove in 2 runs. As Aiden Colangelo will work here to Barlas. First pitch is up and high in the zone for ball number 1. Ball misses high. Like we alluded to earlier in the broadcast, the playoff picture is not set for the top 3 teams in the Intercounty. The Royals, should they win this, it's going to create a 3-way tie for first place heading to the last day of the season. You have to go back to 1994, 1995 in that area. For the last time there was a 3-way tie for the Intercounty first in the Intercounty. I do believe the Guelph Royals defeated the Stratford Hillers in that 1-game playoff the last time through. Of course, at the helm that year was Dino Rommel. It's now 3-0, or 3-1 anyways. Ball misses high, and Barlas will take the walk here. That'll bring up Justin Interessano. Interessano 1 for 2 on the evening. He doubled and scored in the 2nd inning. He walked in the 3rd, got hit by a pitch in the 4th, walked in the 5th, then popped out to the pitcher in the 6th inning. There's nobody away here in the Royals' 8th inning. Royals not scoring runs in the 1st or the 7th inning, and not so far in this here in the 8th so far. But scored bunches in other innings. There's a strike called on Interessano. Red Sox 3 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors. The Royals 17 runs, 18 hits, 1 error on the night. As a strike's called there, and Interessano's behind the count at 0-2. The Royals win today and they win tomorrow. The lowest they can finish is second place. If all three teams, London, Welland, and Guelph finish tied in the standings, there'll be a one-game playoff between the Royals and London Majors early in the week here to decide first place before the postseason can start for everybody else. Zantarasano gets a single here, and J.D. Williams will be the batter with the bases loaded.
Right fielder, number 9, J.D. Williams.
Williams has homered already in this contest. He's got a pair of singles to go with that home run. He's struck it out and flown out. Scored 2 runs, got 3 RBIs. Would love to make it more here. As Dino Romel's looking around here. Juice is a little sore here, and they're looking for a pinch runner. Somebody's coming way down from the bullpen to pinch run now. Brian Sewell coming in to pinch run here. Terrasano looks like he's a little worse for wear here. The backup catcher. Here, so you're gonna have to borrow that one. There we go. Thanks for the loaner.
First base, number 55, Brian Sewell.
As Terrasano will exit the ball game. I think he's all right, just limbering a little bit off the diamond here. Maybe with that collision at first, you don't know here. As J.D. Williams will be the batter here with the bases loaded. Those things happen, as you saw it on the camera. The center fielder was talking to the left fielder, didn't realize the pitch had been thrown yet. He wasn't back in his spot, and nobody bothered telling him when he went back out there. As Williams fouls that one off, and the count is quickly 0-2. Williams checks his swing. Umpire said he went around, and he goes down without an argument. He's walking off the field now. And there's one away.
The catcher, number 23, Brendan Keys.
Base is still loaded here. First is in there, pitch is in there to a strike for Brendan Keys. Ball misses, it's 1-1. As Keys gets a hold of this one to left field, the left fielder is going to track it down. Runner is going to tag, and McCullymore is going to come across to make it 18-3 here on the give to Brendan Keys the sacrifice fly. And 2 away. They lost Ashton Patterson's walk-up song. I think it was How Do You Like Me Now somewhere.
Left fielder number 50, Ashton Patterson.
I can't remember the name of that song, but I know that's what it's from, and I just remember the movie it was in with a bunch of birds in it. My kids seem to like constantly for the 3 or 4 months. Patterson takes strike number 1 here. 2 away in the Royals half of the inning here in the 8th. As the Red Sox and Royals just trying to finish this one on a high note. The ball misses outside. It's 1-1. Patterson with a terrific catch yesterday in center field. And some heads-up base running as the Royals edged the London Majors 2-0 and what was definitely the ball game of the year so far in the IBL. 2 great pitchers went head-to-toe through 8 innings. Jose Arias set the new single-season record for the majors. Eclipsing the great Mike Kilkenny. The record was set in 1975. Claudio Custodio in that contest. Up to his season record to 195 as Ashton Patterson goes down on strikes to end the inning. We'll be back with the 9th inning.
Number 10, Nolan Gallagher.
Top of the 9th inning here at Hastings Stadium. The Guelph Royals leading this one 18-3. Andrew Case out here to close this one out. Not a safe situation, just trying to get another inning of work here, as it might be another week potentially before he gets another inning here. He warmed up last night in London, but wasn't needed as Custodio pitched a complete game 3 hitter for the shutout, the first shutout in the IBL this season. The 7th complete game, of course, in the league this year. Definitely a rarity as Case is blasting them past here. It's now 2 balls and a strike to Nolan Gallagher. Swings and misses on that pitch. He foul tips it into the glove, and the count is now 2-2. Fouled away, and it remains at 2-2. Gallagher and Andrew Gorecki on deck followed by the top of their order. As this one's lined, but just foul down the line as Jeff Rose down the third base line makes the call. Strike 3 called. Case gets the strikeout. And there's one away.
The right fielder, number 7, Andrew Gurecki.
Andrew Gurecki now the batter. Royals with this victory. Well, 2 outs away from victory anyways. As Case pitches, misses outside for ball 1. Yep, Keys needs a replacement glove here by the looks of it. So looks like the glove got broken on that play, or it looks some baseballs or something. So he's got another glove or something. One ball, no strikes, the count here to Gurecki. As he swings and misses at an offering from Case, the count is even at 1-1. Of course, on behalf of the broadcast team, we want to thank you guys and gals for watching on YouTube this season. Looking forward to a great postseason run with you as we hopefully go through September anyways. The Guelph Royals are definitely ready to reign here in the Intercounty. As Gurecki goes down on strikes and Case picks up strikeout number 2 in the inning.
The catcher, number 12, Brady Parmelo.
Brady Parmelo representing the last chance for the Red Sox here with 2 away in the top of the 9th inning. Ball misses high. Count is 1-0. Ball misses outside again, and the Royals hoping for Case to get it around the plate here to end this one and force a 3-way tie into first in the Intercounty heading to the last day of play. Parmelo swings at that pitch. It's now 2 balls and a strike. Swung on and missed by Parmelo. And now Andrew Case and the Royals are 1 pitch away from tying the standings up. That's with 3 teams in first. 2 pitches swung on and missed. Andrew Case does the job. The Royals win this one 18-3. As the Royals take care of business here at home. Finish the regular season at 19-2. An impressive run here. 15 in a row at home here at Hastings Stadium. Greatly in part to this great crowd here at Hastings that night after night has had these boys' backs.
On 7 hits and 3 errors.
We are back in Kitchener tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock as the Royals finish off their regular season.
There'll be a playoff game here probably next Saturday. So
thank you so much for watching this evening. Have a great night. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.